Mike Pence and John Gregg suspended their campaign ads Tuesday in honor of the anniversary of the 9/11 tragedy. Gregg said it would be wrong to air ads on a somber day. Democratic Senate candidate Joe Donnelly also suspended his ads Tuesday. Republican Richard Mourdock was the only statewide candidate with ads still running that day. Deputy Campaign Manager Brose McVeigh says the campaign asked Monday that one of two ads be taken down, but the request came too late for most TV stations to comply. Mike McDaniel, on a scale of lame excuses, rate that one from 1 to 10.
It's good that your question is not slanted in any way, shape, or form. Look, I take them at their word that they try to take one of the ads down. But again, you know, this is process stuff that nobody cares about. I mean, this is a bunch of nothing. And you know, his challengers, the independent commercials against him ran the whole day. I didn't hear anybody claiming that they should be taken off the air.
Nobody knows who to call.
Well, well, that could be too.
Citizens United, that worked.
But believe me, there was a run all day, and nobody claimed that that's a problem. Look, I've read polls, political polls, for 40 years now in Indiana. I've yet to see ad rotation on the top of anybody's list.
Well, it makes sense. The presidential candidates stopped their ads for that day, and that's a lead that it's tough not to follow, but there's not really a punishment. Do you anticipate?
I don't necessarily think it moves the needle as far as voters are concerned. It's just simply tacky. But most of his campaign has been, so I don't see why this would be any different.
Okay. Oh, if all of that's the case, that's still kind of a lame excuse, right?
I'd say that's a 10 on that scale. Because what that implies is, well, we got caught, and so we were going to try to take down one, but we had two in rotation, so they still had obviously not.
They're going to take the negative ad out of rotation to keep the positive ad.
Okay, fine. It's still lame. It's 9.5. And the
Well,
reality,
give it a 10.
The reality is, I think they just forgot that was the day and that was going to be
or
the
maybe
protocol.
they thought they'd have it open season, too.
Right.
Yeah, I suppose it's a logical explanation that they might have forgotten until the last minute, heat of the campaign, but that doesn't mitigate it necessarily.
That's right.
Because what you're describing here, to go back to the earlier question, Mike, you said, well, in the heat of the moment after you know, the primary, you may say things you regret, which suggests maybe a judgment question. Then you have a campaign that hasn't circled 9/11 on the calendar apparently, and until the last, you know, however many minutes before, hours before the clock strikes midnight, that you say, oh, we better call these TV stations and try to pull it from the lineup. I mean, at what point does...
Do you honestly think that moves the needle one?
No, but what it does, it seems to me...
That's the bottom line here.
Judgment and the way campaigns run, I think, tell a lot about how people govern.
Nothing changes on the bottom line.
It may not change voters, but I bet you can read a lot into how campaigns are run, and that tells you how people run their shops if they're elected.
Moving on.